she already had a team at the camp.
Uh-huh.
She had people that were making beats for her.
Yeah.
And she brought all the materials and they were doing the sales. They had a little organization going on.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my friend's daughter does. The same thing. It was classic. It was
Dope.
classic. Oh, cool. So that's what little girls are into right now. You know?
Yeah.
Because we used to do the same thing. We used to sell these things called pogs. We had a side business when we were their age.
Yeah.
So we were doing the same type of thing when they were kids. So.
Yeah, that's dope.
And it's but it's gonna be neat to try and get the next generation stoked.
Did you see Terry Kennedy?
Heard about that? Oh yeah. It's
heard about that?
Yeah, it's one of those things where because he's on the fringes of skating, he was a big name, but never that big of a name. He was like, your A-list guys on the team, and your B guys on the team. He was like a B guy on paper, right? He never was one of their A guys. He was like a B guy, like a good B guy, but not one of their top riders. A good team rider, pro model, but not like the biggest name, not selling the most. He wasn't Andrew Reynolds. He wasn't Cater. He wasn't T-Funk. He wasn't Dustin Dolan. He was cool. But the thing about it is they just, because he hasn't been pro for a while. How long has he not been pro for? Years. That's what I'm saying. Since he's a former pro skater, he's not going to really hurt skating that much. Because here's the thing. It's sad what happened. But the thing is where he's from East LA, Compton, the Hoods.
No, Long Beach.
Yeah, the Hoods.
His family's in the gangs and from the gangs.
Yeah,
because of the gang environment.
Yeah, he's from totally gangs.
But he's on medication, and when he don't take the medication, that's what he loses. And that's why.
So here's the thing. It's
mental
great,
health.
It's great to talk about the mental health, but what he did, it's one of those things where, there's Chris Holt, there's no excuse for domestic abuse. He hit his pregnant girlfriend. You can't hit a pregnant woman. He's pretty much canceled. He was canceled before. He killed somebody before. So he got canceled for that. So he was on shaky ground, thin ice, as they say. All right, you can work. It's like, don't mess up again. Messing up again. He's already back in jail. So the thing is he has to be where.
Or he's on bail or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's in. I just heard it on the. I just listened on the radio. He's in jail till his trial. He's locked up for the next 18 days until he goes to trial. And then he'll probably stay in jail. He goes with out-of-state charges. He was on probation. It was a violation. It was a probation. You can't do anything. You can't even jaywalk when you're on probation. You jaywalk when you're on probation. You go back to jail.
Damn, so he's getting back into jail.
So it's over for him. And the thing is, it's not going to really affect skateboarding because he never really was a big name. And when they say former pro skater, it's not like he was a big pro. It's not like he was saying. It's not like he did PSL. It's not like he did X Games. It's not like he did the Olympics. He didn't even do Manny's SBA. He hasn't done anything really relevant in a long time. So it's just like, this guy has a troubled past. It happens. He's from Long Beach. He's from the hood. People from the hood. You can take the guy out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the hood. That's what with Terry King. It's sad. Like George and Mighty, they were both doing drugs, jail, rehab. They got in trouble. It's part of growing up in the hood. Like they grew up. They try to stay out of trouble. But when everyone around you is a gang member, it's hard.
Derek Kennedy traveled around the world as a pro skater.
He was doing it for a while. Yeah.
He was on Supra. He was on Baker.
Yeah, when he was there at the big time. Yeah, he was for a while. He was big time, but then when he lost it, he didn't know how to transfer it out of being from the star to just being a normal skater.
That's the hard part. To transition to a normal 9 to 5.
9 to 5, yeah, and or part time. Not exactly, but to transition to doing 9 to 5 like that, like Joey Berninsky did. He's a mailman.
Right. Exactly.
Terry Gunn, he wasn't able to do that. He was too much the rock star, the ego. Thinking you're God's gift to skateboarding. It's all about staying on that. I think about Jerron. Jerron has been so humble for so many years. That's why he is where he is today because he stayed humble. You know, he's soft spoken. You know, he's been very cool. He's been cool for years and years and years. You know, he's been cool for 4 decades.
So sick.
And he's so you know, and
Geron's dope.
yeah, by being super cool is what's gonna like being rad will get you there. Being cool is what's gonna keep you there.
Right.
You know, and that's the problem was Terry Kennedy couldn't stay cool like that. He had to be super something. He had that ego. He let his emotions get the best of him. He got in a fight with that guy, which was his like supposed friend, his filming.
And he killed somebody,
He
right?
killed him, yeah, he hit him, he fell down the stairs. He didn't mean to kill the guy.
And somebody knocked, like the person fell like hit his head.
Yeah. He knocked him out, and then the guy fell downstairs or something. When he hit his head on the curb or something, and then the guy died. Like he didn't intend to kill the guy, but when you're fighting like that and you're beating people up, that could be part of. You got to realize that hey, you beating someone up could forever change your life. It's not worth it when you're an adult. You're not a high school kid anymore. You can't act like a kid. Every time you hit somebody, it costs you thousands and thousands of dollars. You gotta realize you're allowed to punch somebody, but then they're allowed to sue you for $100,000. And then you can have a choice of go to jail or pay $100,000 if you want to be free, because they sue you, for kicking their ass and breaking their arm. So you can go beat somebody up and break their arm, but then they're gonna come back around and sue you,
Right.
So that's the thing, or you can go to jail, whatever, so he was just, he didn't think about what the consequences of his actions,
No.
and he was being too much caring about his own, not seeing the bigger picture of life, And it's crazy, he gets some chick pregnant the minute he gets out of jail.
He did?
Yeah, that chick was pregnant. She's like 6 months pregnant.
No way.
Yeah, he got her pregnant after being out of jail in like 3 months.
No way.
So the girl he hit, and she filed assault charges on him for domestic abuse.
Yeah.
So that's why he's in jail.
Oh, so domestic abuse?
Yeah, for hitting his pregnant girlfriend.
No way.
Because here's what happened. Yeah, well, the story was he had made he was trying to make money in the skate world.
Yeah.
And then they were making some the boards didn't come out, like a bad business decision, and he was having business stress, and he decided to beat on his wife because he was having business stress, just like Chris Cole was mad in the contest that he lost, and he started beating up his chick. His emotions got the best of him, and he took it out on his chick. And now Terry Kennedy, but the thing is, he was on probation. She never said anything because she was an abused woman, and women in abuse, it takes a lot of bravery to speak up against your abuser, because it means you're going to have to leave your house. You risk getting killed by your husband or beat up. Everyone's going to change in your life. It takes a lot of power for a woman to come forward, and speak in an abusive relationship. This woman though, she barely met Terry Kennedy. They've only known each other. I don't know how long.
And he got her pregnant?
Yeah, right away. She's like 3 or 4 months pregnant, and then the problem is they haven't even been together for 6 months. He just met her when he got out of jail. She was like, oh, he's famous skater, oh, this, that. He got her pregnant, and the next thing you know, she's like, relationships, like, it takes a year or two of like living with someone to even know if you're like getting ready for a relationship, So I'm assuming the relationship's going bad. She's hungry, she wants more food and this. Terry's got no money because he spent all his money on a failed business venture.
Yeah.
And then what hurt was he was stressed out because of the business venture, and then he beat her up. And then she called the police.
And that's a wrap.
Then it's a wrap. Because he was out of state, violation of parole, domestic abuse with a pregnant woman.
Oh, that's not looking good. In front of a judge.
Not looking good. Yeah, so it's not looking good for him. And you're on probation for just killing someone, and now you just need your pregnant wife.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. Your pregnant girlfriend. You're not even married.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking
good. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we just have to not talk about it. The mainstream media needs to not. He was a former pro skater. He's not.
Do they call him former or a pro skater?
Former pro skater. Former pro skater.
But I think he had a brand called TK Skates.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: turning yourself pro for your own brand doesn't count as being pro.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. I don't consider that pro. Like, you can turn yourself pro for your own brand, but unless you're Tony Alva, it doesn't count. Or Tony Hawk, and you're turning yourself pro for Birdhouse.
Unified, how can I help you? Uh-huh. A nut, yeah. Yeah, so you're looking for what is called an axle nut, where it's like where the nuts that go on the wheel, a lot of times they either fall off or the threading gets stripped. Yeah, I have them. Yeah, they're just a couple bucks. I do close at 6. Perfect. I close in 45 minutes, so yeah. Okay, we'll see you shortly. You're welcome. Bye-bye. So,
Yeah, it's not a good look, but the thing is, it's not it's a former pro skater. It's not. We have Scott
you
Brown.
sure it says former?
Well,
You looked it up?
But that's what I'll call. That's what I call him.
Well,
And that's
right.
that's what they kind of are calling him on the internet. I see former pro skater, because pro means you're still making money. And he used to be pro. He's not getting checked ever since he's been in jail.
Terry Kennedy, 5 days ago, Yahoo Sports. Terry Kennedy arrested by allegedly assaulting pregnant girlfriend. Complex. Terry Kennedy, same thing. TMZ. Here we go. Former pro skateboarder.
So yeah, they call him a former pro.
TMZ, that's pretty big.
That's huge. That's one of the biggest news media things. So, but that's so. Thank God they said former pro.
They said former.
That makes it look a lot better for skateboarding.
Ban on skateboarding, yeah.
Yeah, you know, he was a pro. Like, he got into trouble. He was pro, but then he got into trouble. Former pro skateboarder.
But then you go to that page, TMZ, they put former in a really small text. You cannot even see it, and they put skateboarder Terry Kennedy.
Yeah. What he's on
busted
for that?
for assault. Allegedly
Yeah.
attacked pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah. But they say former pro. That's the
Months after prison release.
Yeah. So that's why he's like former pro. He was pro. But once he went into prison, they kind of stopped calling him pro. He was now in prison.
AOL.com, they also called him former pro skateboarder.
Yeah.
Arrested, yeah?
Because I feel pro skateboarder means you're earning minimum. Your sponsors are giving you a minimum $8,000 to $10,000 a year. If you're getting less than $8,000 to $10,000 a year from your main sponsor, I just consider you flow. You know, because you're even if you're making $10,000 a year, you're still below the poverty. You know, so is that really a professional if you're living in poverty? No, you know, you gotta be making at least $1,000 a month, $800,000 a month.
Well, if you put your name on the board for the gym
For a big
skateboard
company,
brand,
yeah, then you're pro.
that's
pro.
that's a
That's pro.
that's a statement.
That's pro. So now you
That's
get
a-
the
you
label.
know,
That's pro. But there's
If you're pro for Baker, that's a
pro
and-
for
and,
Baker
you know,
or Real
yeah.
or
Right.
Anti-Hero.
Right.
You know, or like Heroin or maybe even Dogtown.
Right.
You know, Birdhouse. There's maybe 10 brands where if you turn pro for that brand, 0, you're pro. Maybe if you're not making 10 grand a year, but you're being for such. If you ride for 0, that's pretty big. Your name's on 0. You know. So if you get your name on one of the top 10 brands, then yeah. But other than that, it's not pro. You know, and even then, like guys like Elliot Sloan, he's pro, but he doesn't make money from his board sales. It's all contest money, right? They're saying stuff like that.
Yeah, like energy drink sponsors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
X
It's not-
Games winning, so
it's-
prize money from the
Yeah,
contest.
but it's not your board royalties. So it's like
No,
it's
no,
really
no, no,
hard.
no, no,
Like even
no.
guys who ride pro for DGKs, they barely get a check, right?
Well, depends how hot the model is. You
Yeah,
know?
but not too many people. Did TJ Rogers skate for DGK? Who's he skate
No,
for Skate Mafia?
TJ's on Skate Mafia.
Like TJ Rogers is one of these guys I feel where it's like,
But he's on Red Bull.
See, Red Bull gives
So
them the money.
Red Bull pays well.
Yeah, but TJ Rodriguez is an
Skate
amazing
Mafia
skater.
don't pay well. That
Skate
one.
Mafia doesn't pay very well.
Brand.
But without being
Partner
the Skate
brand.
Mafia, you would never get the chance to be with Red Bull. You know, it's kind of one of those things where you got the big name, pretty big name board sponsor, and then with the Red Bull, it kind of pushes it over the edge. The guys who ride for Primitive, they're pretty as pro. You know, they only have like 8 guys, right? 6, 8 guys on the team.
Yeah.
Frankie Villani, Mota.
Frankie Valani resigned.
Oh, you did? Okay.
They had a lot of resignations
Yeah.
since they got a new owner.
Change ownership? Okay.
Damn, this is crazy looking. Terry, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
That's a sad story.
Yeah.
That is a sad, sad story.
Oh, it's a total yeah. But that's
I
just
think
one of those
they-
things where just
I-
since he's a former pro skater, it's not gonna hurt
Right.
the skate world so much.
But people should step in and help out as much as they can when they get out of jail and then try to guide them in the right direction so they
Yeah.
don't do something stupid
Yeah.
and then go back in.
Yeah, it's what they say is you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
No.
You can take the kid out of the hood, but it's hard to take the hood out of the kid. You know? That's the thing with Terry Kennedy is as much as it's just because it's what he was born and raised and how he was taught to always fight, to be a gamer. Growing up in gangs your whole life, you normalize that kind of behavior. And that's the normalized violence and everything like that, and it seems it becomes you're around it so much your whole life, you become normal and you think it's normal.
Right.
But if you like my friend Jack said, but some people, if you act that way around people from, the suburb, and you're like, you're fucking crazy. Oh my God, why are you even talking that way? No. He's like, nigga this, nigga. It's like people he shouldn't even talk that way. But some people will be appalled just by the way he talks. But to him, that's just normal because growing up in Long Beach in the hood, everybody talks that. So that's just what I see with that. It's sad, but it's one of these things where we have I always say this. I tell the kids. They say, focus on the rad shit, not the bullshit. It's just we have too much rad stuff to be thinking about skateboarding. We care about the bullshit Terry Kennedy. Let's focus on all the rad shit. Like Manny Santiago was such an amazing person, such an amazing skater. Let's keep it rad and keep that positive Manny energy. That's what we got to focus on. Sky Brown's good energy.
Right.
Chloe Goodell, that girl, Rissa True. Girls who have great energy. How do you say her name? Momiji. People like Momiji. That's what we need to focus on, is the future. Not these old guys, not the guys my age, not the guys that are people like Momiji.
Not Terry Kennedy?
Not Terry Kennedy. We don't even talk about Terry. Let's talk about Momiji.
Yeah,
Let's
but people don't talk about
But that's why we
people
need
talk about Terry Kennedy.
Yeah, because that's what's in the news. But that's what we
No,
need.
but he was on Baker.
Yeah, but that's what we need to.
Luigi is unreal.
Yeah. And the same thing, I watched that Moose interview about how he stabbed those girls the whole part.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying. He was involved. He was involved in some stuff from just growing up in the neighborhood, like
Right.
and everyone knowing and just being, you get stuck in situations like that, But that's what I'm saying is we need to. I love that aspect of skating, the real part, and kids in the street and street skating, like hanging out in a bar, hanging out downtown, hopping the fence, everyone skating the schoolyard together, hopping the fence. There's something so special about that. But now we need to focus on the new generation, people like Momiji, Sky Brown, like the new kid who just turned Toby, the kid who turned pro for real, kids like Jamie Foy,
Jamie Foy, he's
rad, super energy, love skate. There's this new, and then who I love, Pedro Delfino, Monica Delfino.
They don't talk about them.
So rad. He's one of my favorite skaters, Pedro Delfino. Monica's so cool. Pedro and Monica, people like that.
I hear from the names you just mentioned, I hear Terry Kennedy, Jamie Foy.
Yeah.
Like
Death Wish is huge.
Well, that's what people talk about.
Yeah. But the thing is, Pedro Delfino and Monica is still pretty raw. I think she could become more popular. She's here's the thing, she's having burnout. She works so hard to get her pro model, to get her pro show, everything. She just needs to take a time out. She's been skating hard for the past 8 years. Pedro almost won Skater of the Year 2 years ago. He's been skating so hard, you eventually kind of you burn out in your late 20s. You're like, dude, I need to take a breather. I've been skating hard since I was 12 years old, you know? He's been skating hard for the past 15 years, you know? So,
exactly.
And now is the neat thing is where if Pedro goes, he's going to become like an Omar Hassan, where he's going to stay rad forever, you know?
Legend. They become like a legend.
Yeah,
you know?
and so Pedro's slowly about to earn that legend status.
Exactly.
You know, he did switch
like
ball
Cab
Baxter.
or
Yeah.
fucking Lasoy, all those guys.
Nodis, you come up there like the next, become like Costin, Guy Mariano, you know, the next round of guys, you know.
Right.
Because Guy Mariano, Costin, you know, they're old now. Danny Way's old.
Yeah, they're 50 plus.
50 now. Yeah, so it's time for the new generation to get their chance to shine. You know?
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I feel we have to do. We just have to focus on the really rad. Don't focus about the sad. Don't think about the mad. Just go get rad. You know, think about the rad shit, not the bullshit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do because if we let the scandals and the bullshit and everything, and it's not a good look for skating to everyone say, oh, skaters beat their wives, skaters do this, skaters. Nah, dude, skaters are like Omiji, skaters are like Pedro Lofino and Monica, you know? It's like the guy, the blind guy, you know, Dan, like, I forget his name, Dan or something, the one guy, you know?
Dan Mancho?
Dan, the blind, is that the blind guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but people like that, that's the stories we need to focus on, the amazing rad skaters. Steve Cavallero, Tony Hawk, Christian Story, you know, Bob Burnquist, Danny Way, guys who are just so fucking cool that people want to be like them, you know, Tony Alva, stuff like that, you know, people who are so cool, like, oh, I want to be like Tony Alva.
But Tony Alva used to be a dick.
Yeah, he's become cooler.
He's cool, yeah.
He's cooler. He was spinning the records at that party on Saturday.
Sick.
But that's what we need to focus on, the rad shit, not the bullshit. And I don't think this Terry Kennedy thing's going to really matter.
No.
Thank God he's a former pro.
Right.
If this would have happened 8 years ago when Terry Kennedy was hot with Supra, it would have been a bad one.
Right.
But since he already killed somebody, he's already been in and out of jail, former pro, it's just about people like stories from people from the inner city and the hood, you know. It's just, that's just what that is. So I wouldn't stress too much about that hurting skating.
No.
But
slowing down the sales, you're not worrying about that.
No. Yeah, just focus on, and you gotta get a lot of wrist guards, Marko.
Yep.
Your outer wrist guards.
Yep.
So wrist guards and pads, a lot of wrist guards, because that's the one thing a new skater when they buy, at least get wrist guards. You know.
Right.
You don't need elbows or knees, but at least wrist guards. Raffy, the one friend, he wears wrist guards when we skate. You know, he'll skate the pool and everything. No pad. He doesn't wear any pads or nothing. Just wrist.
Just the wrist guard.
Just wrist guard.
Wow.
Just because he's got to go to work on Monday. When I used to fly my Hawks, same thing. I used to wear my wrist guards because I need to be at work tomorrow when I can't mess my wrist up. You know? Right. Jody always, like, when we skate around street skating, she doesn't wear pads, but she wears her wrist guards just in case, because I don't want her to break her wrist and her mom hate me. You know. Right. So I make her wear her wrist guards when we go street skating. Okay. You know, I don't wear anything, but she'll wear her wrist guards never needs it, just in case. You know, I don't want her mom to hate me. You know, like, Mom, I broke my arm. You know, I broke my wrist. But so yeah, I'll just say that. But yeah, get that stuff ordered, Marko, and thank you so much for the money. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, so order the big hardware and riser pads and bearings, and then the orangutan wheels will sell. And I can't wait to set up my one board. It's gonna be so fun. I got it from you a long time ago on a big anti-hero board, the whole yellow one. Nice. Which is really rad. So I'm really excited to set that one up because it's got the bigger wheelbase, like Jay Smith rode. And then I heard that Todd's gonna do like a memorial for Jay. Oh, he is? At the skateboard museum. Yeah, I just heard that. Dope. So it's gonna be like, you know, a celebration of his life, like his pictures, everything. Sport.
Man, I might want to come check that out. Yeah.
That'll be cool. Celebration of his life. It's gonna be rad in a couple weeks or so. I heard that's gonna be going there. But that's still just in the works. That's just talk among the friends right now. Right. But you know, we should celebrate Jay's life. My neighbor, actually, my parents' neighbor, was good friends with them in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah?
And he said I talked to him this morning, he said Jay texted him 2 weeks ago.
No.
Hey, how's it going? Feeling good? Just saying hi. He texted them just like, hey, saying hi. You know, just keeping in touch. You know? He probably was even lying about his kind of like how healthy he was.
Right.
But he was just calling to say hello to everybody and kind of texting his friends, hey, things are good, you know.
Because he had throat cancer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but what's really rad is he at the time he had some issues, you know, before drinking and not being as healthy. But he really turned his life around and got really healthy at the end.
He partied hard but you know, Marty said they all partied hard.
Oh yeah, it was just that's how it was back then.
That's how it was back then, yeah.
And then what happened was, so he got healthy, he was skating a lot, he went to the Skateboard Hall of Fame, he ended his life on a real good note, you know? It wasn't like Don Zabo where he committed suicide and was like doing drugs and stuff. You know? So that's the real great part about the Jay Smith story is he left this world like he could be proud of his accomplishments. Everybody was really proud with him. He had really good relations with all his friends and everything, you know. And he ended on like he left this world like I kicked some ass and everyone really appreciated, like you're a legend, and everybody like gave him his props and everybody was really proud of him. Like everyone wanted his autograph and can I get a picture with you, Jay? You know. So he got to leave this world like being a champ. You know?
Right. Exactly.
And when he was laying in his deathbed and stuff and dying in the hospital, you know, all his friends were really proud of him. Like, you are Jay Smith, you're the man. Like, so at least he got to like his last few days, even though they're in pain and dying of cancer, he got to know that like he really was a hero to people, and people really loved him for his skating, and everyone thought he was really cool. So at least he got to leave the world with that, you know. So that was really cool. I think back with Jason, I'm just so happy that he got his last few years were spent being really rad, you know. And everyone, there's like tons of rad YouTube videos of him. Everyone's like, oh, Jay Smith is back, Jay Smith, oh shit. And there was this like buzz about him and his skating before he left the world, you know. And there was like a real happy ending. Well, I'll put my card back.
Yes.
So turn the lights on?
Oh yeah, let's go. But that's what I'm really happy for. They got at least Smith's in the house, like, oh shit, Jay Smith, what? So everywhere he got that VIP treatment, you know?
So sick.
So that's really bad that he got to leave this world knowing that I kicked some ass, and people really love me for my skating. He loved skating, and that he was so, don't put those there. Put them somewhere so they don't get scratched, because they're bad ones, right?
On the top, maybe?
Yeah, be real careful with them, or put them on the side, you know, someone's going to get these that you know.
Right.
Right? Like,
Put them on the top.
yeah, put them on the top so you don't want to scratch them, you know? Because people buy those just to collect them.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, put them on top right there. Perfect.
Right there,
Yeah, that's perfect. But that's what I think was the rad thing about the Jay Smith story is he got to leave this world and with being really respected and loved, and everybody was really like, so many people would take a picture. Can I get a picture with you?
The exact opposite, like Mark Johnson, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Johnson just
kind of failed drugs and
he left us.
A lot of questions and no one
a lot of more questions than answers.
Like kind of ghosted everybody, kind of disappeared.
Well, we don't know why he went.
Yeah.
Was it like the industry that got him wrong, or he had internal demons he was dealing with? I don't know.
What it was is, well, I think like, it was what the thing was is it was.
And Jay's situation, I think the industry showed and gave him respect at the very last
At
minute
the
of
very
his life.
end, at the very end, yeah.
But Mark Johnson, they just shitted on him
Well, they just
for
forgot
years
about
before
it.
he left us.
Yeah, they just
They shit on him, you know?
He was,
You know, so-
he used to be the biggest thing, he went
The
from
biggest-
being the biggest thing,
Right.
to no one even knowing his name. You know, it's really a bummer, because that's what happens with technical street skaters, is if you're not into tech street skating, you're not gonna know who he is, you know? And that's what I think happened to Mark Johnson. He was just too good for his own good. So most people couldn't relate because he was so amazing that people couldn't even comprehend his video parts. And he says his video part was 2 songs.
It was 2 songs.
Who's gonna watch their 2 songs? Most people only watch 15 seconds. You know? Like I said, do you expect me to watch 2 songs?
Yeah.
But that's Mark Johnson, you know. So he was almost too good for his own good. You know, that was his problem. But yeah, but it was kind of a lot different, you know. But yeah, Jay got his respect at
Jay
the
got
end,
respect.
at the end, and he was really loved, and everyone was like,
But
"Oh
Mark
shit!"
Johnson, they cut him off his sponsors.
Yeah,
You know, Carol cut him out off of chocolate, so people cut him out.
yeah, and then he faded away, he just disappeared. Yeah,
And he went into depression.
yeah, he just disappeared. Like, yeah,
And then there's no, what is their point to live?
yeah, and then that's what the rap thing. Jay was kind of
And
depressed.
Jay was happy.
But then everyone,
As I talked to Jay.
they bought him back, he got back on his boards ride, and everyone
Yeah.
was so stoked on him that it really, I'm just happy he got to leave this world
Yeah.
on a real positive, like
beautiful
everyone
way,
take
in a
pictures in
beautiful
a
way.
beautiful way, and being respected and
I-
knowing he was.
I saw Jay at Pedal Contest.
He did? Uh-huh.
I saw him at the the Z-Boys event at Tots Hall of Fame.
Nice.
And I talked to him, he was dope. He was looking healthy, he was fucking sharp,
Yeah, so
he
cool,
was
yeah.
fire, man.
Yeah, so cool, yeah, he was,
So sick.
and that wasn't even that long ago, you know?
No,
So yeah, so
he
it's
looks healthy, dude.
so it's a real blessing that he was able to,
Yeah.
you know, finish his life like that on the positive, on the upswing like that. It's so sad he had to go, but I'm just really thankful that he got it, like, and for my friends and everybody, because they were really good friends with him. My buddies I skate with, like
Yeah.
Charlie and Darren and Raphael.
Uh-huh.
Darren and Jason, they got arrested at a punk rock show when they were kids. Because they were,
Yeah.
they were like making like noise at light. They're like, we're leaving, and the cops like locked them all up and everything. So they were kids, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were good friends long before I was even alive. When I was 2-3 years old, you know, they were really good friends. So yeah, so it's beautiful that he got to, like, it's sad he had to leave, but at least he got to leave like knowing, dude, I fucking did it, and I was a champ, and I was a pro from LA, and everyone like you were a fucking respected pro in the world with skating in California, and he did it, you know?
He did it.
So he could die with a sense of accomplishment that very few people get in their skateboarding, to feel accomplished, you know? And so yeah, so he's always better, but yeah, we just gotta appreciate everybody and
Yeah, for sure,
live
Kevin,
life
thank
our
you,
best,
thank
know,
you.
and keep skating, more
Thank you
skating,
so
more
much,
skating.
Kevin. Yeah, yeah,
Thank
for
you,
sure,
I
yeah.
appreciate having your job and
Yeah.
being involved with skateboarding, and yeah, it's a big responsibility we got, but we can make one skater at a time. We're gonna make the world a radder place, you know. And then next thing you know, we get an army of rad skaters, and this army of next skaters is gonna help push the world in the right direction. You know?
Right.
And we just gotta guide them and push and encourage them to be not just the raddest skaters, but the raddest people they can be on and off the board. You know, and that's what I think is gonna help skating be so rad. Is there's so many rad people like Luigi, and the kid Toby who just turned pro
For
Ryan
real?
Scheckler.
For real?
Yeah, for real. The kid who just turned pro for real. And, you know, all these rad people in skating. Guys like Ashad, who's fucking awesome. You know, so it just, and then Manny and Paul Rodriguez, all these rad people. You know, and then that dude Felipe Moda, that kid, he seems like he's special.
He's a nice kid.
So as I was saying, we gotta focus on the rad, awesome future. Then we got the cool old Dogtown heads, the Hold Down Venice, and everything else. Then you got Jason Lee, all these rad people in skating. So that's what we just have to focus on, is all the amazing people in skating, and all these rad personalities, and not even think about the bullshit and stupid shit Terry Kennedy did. We're too busy talking about Sky Brown and Arissa True, and all these next generation of rad skaters. You know? And if we focus on that, I really think and those heroin boards, they're valid. You know, a lot of older guys are like, all right, I'll give it one more shot. You know, I haven't bought a board in a while. I feel that's the people who get heroin boards are. I used to skate. I haven't skated in a while. Right. All right. I want to try it again. Let's get a heroin board. Let's give it a shot. So it's gonna be good. All right. Well, good luck with everything.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
You know,
I'll hit you up. I'll talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah. And get those bearings and everything.
Okay. Cool.
All right, love you, Marko.
Have a good one, man. Peace, man. Later. Thank you. So I got the artwork from Mark McKee. It looks good. I'm replying back to Mark. Hey Mark, artwork received. Thank you so much. Because Mark was saying that this graphic that he sent was only made with the heat transfer process. And then I'm replying back to Mark saying that I was talking to Des, flipping boards, and Des really wants to do the silk screening process. In that case, I have to make the color separations. We'll be in touch. Yep. Not easy. Alright, just doing a couple things, closing up the shop here shortly. Alarm. Alright, that's it for today. I'm going to start closing up the shop. Be back tomorrow.